All right, guys, I want to do something special today. I want to make the most transparent and personal video about my crypto journey, but also exactly what I'm doing with my money in crypto to make sure that I am going to end up with millions while starting from absolutely zero. And so far, it's been working out pretty well. I can talk about the crypto market. I can talk about the best altcoins. I can talk about the best strategies. Now, in this video, I will show you exactly what I am doing. So give the video a good thumbs up, comment, say something, doesn't matter. Just tell me, what's your strategy? What are you doing? Are you trading? Are you investing? Are you scamming? I don't know. Let me know what you are doing. So really quickly about the market, although this is super time sensitive, of course, and the rest of the video isn't. Bitcoin is sitting at 62,400, and I think by the time you watch the video it should not be much different. At least we will still be in this range, and this is a big range between 74k and 58k, so big chance we are still in the range. The Bitcoin dominance is slowly grinding up still, so altcoins are still getting wrecked on their Bitcoin pair, and therefore you also see that Bitcoin is quite close to its cycle high, but the altcoin market still has a 40% move to go. So yeah, altcoins are ones lagging again. Now, I don't care. I don't care, because my strategy made sure that I'm fine no matter what, and you should apply the same. Now, no worries. I won't preach about it too long in this video, but to make sure that you are gonna absolutely, rock it with crypto, that you just have the biggest returns and change your life around, you have to have a long-term vision. You have to understand the cycle. Now, what I think very quickly in a nutshell are the two most important things to keep consideration without making it more complex than it already is look at the halvings, right? We have the halving, parabolic, halving, parabolic, halving, parabolic. We just had the halving. Right? There's a good chance we will go up, like maybe not so parabolic as before. That's also a little diminishing, but still up. And that doesn't have to happen right away. I mean, we had the halving and it took quite a while before we started to go up. Here as well, we had the halving. It took months before we went up. Here we had the halving. It took months before we went up. So we don't go up straight after the halving, but that's zooming in too much already. If you are in crypto, not as a trader, but as an investor, to buy low and sell high, you should just buy and not give a single fuck about what's going to happen in the coming weeks or months. You should have on your horizon what is likely to happen by the time that this bull market is going to end. Now, also, you want to have an idea of when this bull market is going to end. And although that's not 100% predictable, of course, so far it's a pretty clear 4-year cycle. And 2013, and 2017, and 2021. So who am I to say that end 2025 is not super likely? So my base case is still end of 2025. A lot of people saying we have a less translated cycle, we're going to end early. I'm saying we won't, right? And I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think so, because every single time somebody in this market, full history, has said that this time is different, that person got wrecked, right? I don't want to be in the camp of saying like, well, but now this time, no, it's not different. Of course, in the middle of the cycle, things always play out a little different. Here we had a cycle of 2017, 20, the cycle, and we bounced with 350% and crashed with another 70%. Well, I don't know. A lot of people there said, well, if this is not different, then I don't know. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin bottomed in the same 4-year period and it topped in the same 4-year period. And what happened in between, I don't care. Buy low and sell only when we are here, right? Now we are likely around somewhere right here. Yeah, well, why you even talk about selling? Like, nah, the cycle is not ending that early. I'm not saying it will end exactly in like November, December 2025, but I'm also not I'm also not saying that in 2024 or Q1 2025 is going to end. There's nothing that suggests that. So very clear. If you ask me, Not going to happen. So therefore, I will make my plan according to the cycle ending in 2025. Now, I want to give you a little story about how my crypto journey started, where I am right now, and where I plan to go, and also how I plan to go there, because things are going great. The market isn't really great at the moment. So when the market finally gives us a alt season or anything, yeah, we should do fine. So let me show you. I bought Bitcoin here. End of 2013. I got introduced to Bitcoin. I bought my first Bitcoin, and I didn't really know what it was. It was super new. A friend of mine, he said like, hey, I have 1,000 Bitcoins. And I thought, I don't know what it is, but congratulations to you, man. He bought it like really cheap. But I bought one for $400, and that was $400 that I definitely could not miss back then. So when Bitcoin started on its run and went to $800, I sold it. Double the money. I thought I was a genius. Like, I put it in there, took it out. Now I have twice as much money. And that was right on time because the bear market came and I never looked back at it. And in 2017, I got reintroduced to crypto again. And this is where I also definitely did not have any dime to spare. I was broke, I was in debt, and but I started to know about like, hey, there's altcoins, there's this, there's that. So I've bought coins like Stratus, Digibyte, Monero, a fuck ton of Dogecoins. I don't know, a lot of these old altcoins, and I did not have the money to do so. So that was with borrowed money, like the stupidest thing that you can do. So without giving any financial advice, I can tell you, never borrow money to invest, okay? Although the market looks so bullish and you're so sure it's going up, what if, right? And that's what happened to me, because the market went up and I was sitting in a big ass living room with a TV with some friends, and we were looking at the market. We were like, wow, that was the parabolic altcoin bull market. And this was really where we daily doubled our money, and the day after that again, and it like crazy. But I didn't really understand what a bull market was, what a bear market was. So at a certain point, the bear market came and it all came down pretty quick. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? I lost it all. And what I did was I borrowed more money because I thought like, well, now it's cheap and now I have a really gambling addiction. And then crypto is not such a good idea sometimes. So I put more money in and I lost it all. I got scammed. There was a site called BTC Clock, and you can put your money in. You got 2% APY per day, right? Nothing suspicious about that. And a day after I put my money in, the site was gone. Perfect timing. So I was completely wrecked, and I ended with way less than I started with, and that kind of devastated me and made me never go back in crypto again for a long time, until 2020. I have a friend, and he is some kind of a genius for catching early calls. He told me like, hey dude, buy BNB at $4 it was or so. He said BNB is gonna rip. He bought Hex very early. He bought DeFi Kingdoms really early, Shiba really early. Like, and he always gave me that advice, and I always said like, yo, dude, I want to, but I have no money. Then I finally had $100 to spare, and it sounds stupid, but $100 was like a lot to me. And I wanted to buy something, but I also didn't really understand Uniswap and all of that yet. So my trade on Uniswap was stuck because I needed to put in more gas fees, but I didn't have the money. So my trade was stuck and I couldn't get it out. So I was like, fuck crypto, fuck Uniswap, and this shit is all scam. And he was like, ah, dude. And I was like, what the fuck are you laughing, man? My last $100. I was so devastated. And then I felt like, you know what? Let's not blame anybody, man. Let's blame myself, and let's start understanding this market. So I started to research crypto a lot, and I was really on top of the market. And at a certain point, I put so much time in, and I got it. And I felt like, man, you know, a lot of people are struggling with what I was struggling with. So let me create a YouTube channel and just, you know, talk about the stuff that I already know, at least. So I started the YouTube channel. Well, that's a very long story, but that's where the viewers came. That's where I got a little AdSense money, etc. That's how I started to build capital. And that capital, I invested that mostly here already. So I kind of missed this because I was in the crypto market, but I was not invested in the crypto market just because I had no money. So I started investing somewhere around here, and it seems like that's the top. For altcoins, it wasn't, right? If you overlay the altcoin market, you can see that I invested here, right, and I took a hit, but the money came in from YouTube, so I never really noticed that I lost any money. And then it started to really go up, and that's how I turned $0, like actually less than zero, into 200 and at the top it was $220,000, and I took it out too late. I wrote a good part of it down. A lot of altcoins that, like, I was watching Crypto Banter, right, for example, and then Ren, he said like, well, K-Don or something like that, K-Donkey. I don't know the coin, but he gave a lot of these calls, and I was just like, blindly buying them. I saw them and I felt like, hey, they have a big YouTube channel. These guys, they should know what they're doing, right? That's not how it works usually, but I invested it. Right here, probably. And I wrote it all the way down, and $5,000 in such a coin turned out to be 20 cents, right? Some completely died. And I was blaming these YouTubers, like, yeah, it wasn't a great call. But on the other hand, I pressed the buy button, right? So I messed up. Overall, I understand the market quite decently, and I figured like, okay, a little too late, but I figured at a certain point like, okay, this is really a bear market. So I sold most of my positions, and during the whole bear market, I lost 50% of my capital. So I went from 200K to 220K to 100. And looking back at it, that's not that bad, as Bitcoin itself already lost 77%, let alone what altcoins did, right? So I was like, okay, if Bitcoin goes down 77%, and I was mostly into altcoins. And the altcoin market in general lost way more. The altcoin market lost on average 85%. Yeah, then just losing 50%, I felt like, hey, I am outperforming the market. And although I should just sold everything, right? I did good. I did quite good. What I did in the bear market is like, I quit my job for YouTube, and I quit my job for crypto and investing and learning, etc., building a community. And I learned so much, like where a regular person puts 8 hours maybe per week into the crypto market, I was like at 60. So my skill developed like super quickly. I got the experience from 2013, like, not a lot of experience, but just don't simply buy and sell whenever you have some profits. 2017, I really learned about the cycle, and in 2021, I really mastered it, basically, as in what to buy, when to buy that, when to sell, actually, and how does the cycle move exactly, and what's the reason for it to move like that. So I was building a lot of experience right here, and I feel like now I'm putting so much time into it. I am doing quite fantastic compared to how I did before, at least. And that's what I want to share right now, because how am I now making money with crypto? I got my game plan worked out so well that I just want to share that a little bit. So this goes about, altcoins mostly, also Bitcoin, but also when to invest into certain things and when to take it out, when to stop investing, when to shovel your money into something else. So in this part right here, I was mostly into Bitcoin. Well, no, sorry, I'm lying. This part right here, I was mostly into Bitcoin. I saw the market has bottomed, right? A lot of people here said bottom is in. And at a certain point, the bottom was in. For me, it took a confirmation that we had a high low. So was I the first to say that the bottom was in? No, definitely not. But the first were here and they got wrecked right there. So I was waiting for this and I felt like, okay, bottom is there. Time to allocate. But altcoins on their Bitcoin pair were still going down until the day of today, actually. So for a long time said, you know what? I am buy mostly Bitcoin and turn it into altcoins later. And a lot of people like that strategy. A lot of people hated that strategy. It's the Benjamin Cohen strategy, basically. And that worked for a long time for me. But on this altcoin run, I got the altcoins. This is where I talked about altcoins and invested a lot in them. Now I feel like, yeah, I have some Bitcoin as reserve, definitely. But if you try to create wealth, then, you know, being in Bitcoin too much is not really cutting the deal anymore. So what I'm doing right now is, and I'm trying to be as transparent as I can, I now have around twice as much than what I had at the top right here. Around, I don't know exactly. So that's already good, right? If you look at the market, the altcoin market, like, hey, here, you know, altcoin market, we're sitting at the top and we're now quite lower, actually. We're now sitting 45% lower than that. And I'm sitting twice as high, then, hey, outperforming the market, right? That's good. That's what you want. That money, I am dividing it so much, but mainly what I'm doing is this. Like I showed you in the last video, I'm not going to repeat that, so watch the last video to see what kind of portfolios I have and what I have in these portfolios. But again, I have a 4x portfolio, basically Bitcoin, Chainlink, Avalanche, that kind of stuff. I have a 10x portfolio and I have a 50x high risk, high reward portfolio. Now, depending on how much money you have and how much you want to maintain or make, you should think to yourself like, okay, I'm going to allocate this much to the low risk, this much to the high risk, etc. But most of my money is in pre-sales, private sales, seed sales, etc. Because this is so crucial. In a time where the market has shown you that it has strength, but it did not completely had that big breakout yet, that's the time where you want to look at startups, because the future of crypto looks quite bright. It has shown us, and the market has already shown us as well, which kind of coins are going to do this. Gaming, AI, launchpads, mostly. I'm investing in startups. Right, startup companies within crypto, and that's through ICOs, IDOs, pre-sales, IGOs, etc. I'm putting quite some money in it. I think I have around 100 of these projects, 4,000 there, 5,000 there, 2,000 there, maybe 10,000 there, right? And the thing is, you buy the lows. And if you do it through launchpads, it's even better, because you can then get a refund if it for some reason doesn't work out. So it's really a safe way of investing as well. The allocations are not super high, but come on, you get a fucking refund. What do you think the whole world is going to get? Just crazy allocations and refunds, and there's no buying pressure on the open market. If you want high allocations, you can join the Patreon. There's a link down below, because we also have private sales. I have built, luckily, some connections in this crypto space, which makes me able to do that, to take my community with me. But I have around 100 startups that I'm investing in. And this money, a lot of projects already vested. Some are about to get vested, but the money that's already vested, I get it daily. And what I do is I now put it back into a new startup. So let's say I invested $1,000 into, let me give you actually an example. This was one of my recent investments. This is Freebank, and I invested $3,000 in this at around a cent or something. And it happened yesterday to be that it had a candle of 900%. So it did a 10x. It did actually 15x in a day, and now it's back down here, but looks still pretty good, right? So I think I made like, I don't know, 50K with this project, but I'm getting it daily, and it takes a long time. So it can go down in the meantime, but it will be really hard to lose, right? So I turned 3K into 50K, let's say. Now that 50K, I'm slowly putting it back into new startups. Why? Because I understand how the 4-year cycle moves. I understand that crypto is most likely, and of course I can be wrong, but you have to place your eggs somewhere, right? Most likely to end this bull run at the end of 2025. So I'm looking at the clock and well, it's not saying on the clock, but the calendar. Like it's May 2024. So we have around 20 months to go. So if I look at such a pre-sale, I'll be like, okay, apart from the project itself, how is the vesting? Well, 20% TGE, month cliff, 10 months vesting. Fits right into bull market. Take my money, right? And that's what I'm doing all the time right now. And at a certain point, like let's say it's May 2025, right? Then I'm going to be a lot more skeptical about what I'm investing in, because then I feel like, okay, this bull market might last for another 6 months, maybe, but I'm not going to lock my money for 2 years in that case and getting it all vested in the bear market. Some I will, definitely, because look at an Illuvium. During the bear market, never even went close to its pre-sale price. Well, it was a pre-sale, seed sale. But overall, I want to keep my money liquid, as I feel that the bull market is coming to an end soon. And then what I'm going to do is put it back into the altcoin market. And that's where it gets fun, because I'm getting all these projects vested and that's nice, and I'm putting it back. So, but I actually have no clue how much money I have. I have my money in, like I said, 100 startups. So at a certain point, I feel like, okay, I don't want to invest in new startups for the long term anymore. Now it's approaching the time where you want to cash out as well and put it on your bank, right? But you can still make some gains. So if I then look at the altcoin market, you know, if we are from a year from now, I feel like the altcoin market has a lot of room to grow by then. In my opinion, the altcoin market can do something like this, maybe. Well, not until December 2026, but you know what I mean. Maybe a little up, big correction down or so. Overall, pretty much sideways. And at the end of this year, actually go on a parabolic run. So by that time, all the vestings that I get from these projects, you know, $100 per day there, $100 per day there, this, that. It's all coming together. Put it into the altcoin market, or put some in cash and on my bank account, depending on where in the market we are. And then I at least have it liquid, right? Because again, the last project that I showed you, Freebank, if it now did it 15x, yeah, but I can't sell it, right? If I put it into the altcoin market, yeah, if you want to sell it, then you can sell it 5 seconds later, it's done. So you have your money liquid. So let's say I'll get all this money, like maybe 200K or three, I have no clue, man. And I'm putting it in the altcoin market, and the altcoin market is a 5x from there. Nice, then I can take it out whenever I want. That's how I'm going to play it. Apart from the current portfolios that I already have, of course. But you have to realize this as well. If you look, for example, see the 5 projects that released like in the last market, this was crazy. And this is the reason why I'm doing this. This is the reason why I have my Patreon with these private sales. This is the reason why I created Web3 Wheels, right? Blocktopia did a 700x. Now, if you invested back then in the pre-sale for Blocktopia, did you get all your tokens at once and sell at that 700x? No, of course not. You get, I think, 10% TGE, and the rest got vested during the bear market, because this was a sale in October 2021, right? But let's say you got 10% TGE, you still made a 70x. Who cares what happens to the rest in the bear markets, right? But look at all these projects. October, August, November, December, November, all 2021, December, November, September, October, right? So the projects with the biggest TGE returns still happen at the top of the bull market. So I definitely will not stop completely with investing as soon as I think that the market is coming to an end. But a lot of projects, I'm going to be a lot skeptical about them. I'm going to look at it and be like, okay, does this have any chances of pulling off a Cryptometa or Blocktopia or Cryo War, right? And I'll research that. I just look at these projects, go back in time, look at their Twitter at that time and the Telegram that time. What did they have back then? What was the recipe for them to succeed back then? How did the market look by then? What was the hype, right? So you can compare it to what now might be the case as well. So currently I'm basically in a position where if I get money, I reinvest. Get some money back, reinvest, get money back, reinvest, right? Now is the time. It's around the halving. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Around the halving is always where the best projects with the biggest returns come out. Solana, Avalanche, Axie, Sandbox, you name it, right? They all release around this period. This is the same period. I invested in projects. I have a cheat sheet. Rumblekongs, Wisdomus, KIP, Shutdown, Havens Compass, Sakura, Evermoon, Pairdwolf, Midle, Autolayer, Banksys, Merida. I can go on and on and on. You only need one big hit. Like if you invest in 100 projects or so, you can have a lot of these big hits. Now, for a lot of people, they say like, yeah, I don't have the money to invest in 100 projects. That's not the point. This, for me, what I'm now finally doing, took me years of preparation and understanding the market to be finally able to put 2,000 there, 2,000 there, 2,000 there, right? If you're just beginning with this, you cannot complain about $200 allocations or anything, right? It's like not a privilege to be in a Launchpad or in a top-notch VC group or anything. It's something that you should be proud of, that you were able to do so, because you are going to front run a lot of people. Retail is not back yet. That's the beautiful thing about it. Let's say you invest in Project A, Project X, I don't know. Now that nobody, red line, right? Nobody is interested in the market. We are sitting at low levels, right? The social risk. Nobody's watching YouTube videos, etc. So I'm talking to myself and a couple of teenage boys out there. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing right here, but nobody's paying attention right now. But I am, and I am investing in Project X, right? And once the retail, like last cycle or the cycle before that, right? Once Bitcoin makes a new all-time high right here, breaks it, retail steps in. And once retail steps in, they'd be like, whoa, look at Project X. Let's buy it, buy it, buy it. Project goes absolutely crazy. And who's the one that's benefiting most from that? You, while you were invested, well, nobody else cared or knew about it, right? That's what you want to do. And that's why I'm preparing right now. Now is not the time to be like, I'm not making any rewards. The market should go up. Fuck that. The market doesn't need to go up right now. The longer the market does not go up, the more money you will make. And I get it that you want to make money rather yesterday than today. But let's be honest. Do you rather make $1 million in a year or $100,000 in a week, right? I take that million. Right? I take that million. And to get that, you want to prepare right now. So as long as the market hasn't exploded yet, you want to prepare for that. And that's how I am preparing. That's why I'm investing in all these startups, etc. And some will fail. Like some already failed. But that doesn't matter, man. I mean, the ones that don't fail and succeed, they compensate for that big time. So, sometimes I invest 2K somewhere and it turns out to completely go to shit. Yeah, I lost 2K, but what does it matter if another 2K does a 10x? And the 10x is, I can't express how fucking bearish that is in a bull market like I showed you right here. Look at these projects that Cetify released, right? All the end of 2021. At the end of 2021, maybe beginning 2022. Look at these returns. Look at these returns, right? And where they are sitting right now, yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks. But that's the difference. Like this thing, for example, did a 40x, right? And it's now sitting at a 0.04x, okay? So if you invested $100, you now will have $6 if you hold it. But that was during October 2021 when that project got released. That's here. So when did the project got vested? Here, in the bear market, right? Now, that's not like a bear market is already notorious for killing altcoins, let alone altcoins that are new, speculative, and have a big vesting. People want to get rid of that. So yes, they go down to absolute fucking zero, right? But tables are turned a little bit right now because we are now around the halving. So if you are now here and you invest in these kind of projects right there and you then go up and they dare get vested, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, this was around May 2020, right? 4-year cycle around the halving. We are now in May 2024. But if you look at around May 2020, look at the kind of projects that came out back then. We had Solana coming out right there. Yeah, pulled off crazy numbers, right? But we had projects that did just well, right? We had like HyperDAO, but we had Cardia Chain did 100x. We had Cartesi did 100x. We had Just did 100x. We had Luscon did 100x. Lumia did a 290x, right? And overall, if you look, this is not ranked by performance. This is just ranked by date, right? Most of the projects that you see around this period did well. They did well, right? I mean, meet the governance. I don't know what it is, right? I have no clue what it is. But back then, it provided you with a 25x, and it's still sitting at a 3x. And that's even a project that I have no freaking clue about, right? But we had another killer like Sandbox coming out. Open Predict came out, right? We had Philo coming out 40x, right? That's all around that period. And this is the exact same period right now. So again, if you do not have access to Launchpads, you can join a Patreon. We give you exclusive sales of projects that also release on projects like Seedify, etc. But you get a way higher allocation with us. So do check it out. It's worth it. If you ask me, I am absolutely, putting most of my money on this strategy right here. And then at a certain point, there will be a bear market again. Okay, so Bitcoin, in my opinion, it will do whatever the hell it wants right here. And in 2025, it should go completely parabolic, maybe just another double top, maybe an early top around August, September. I don't know exactly, but give or take that period, right? And then the crypto market goes down again and we go into a bear market and maybe see 40K as the bottom or something like that in the next bear market. That's it. Now, I am planning to put that money, like I said, that I get from these investings into the altcoin market, maybe even into Bitcoin. We'll see by then how it looks, to ride it up in its final leg. And then just dollar cost out of every single position. I can already tell you, there's not a single altcoin that I'm going to hold through the bear market, and you should not do that as well. Even if you feel like, yeah, but this project is so good, I'm married to this, I love this, but I want to not miss out on this. I'm selling every fucking thing. Maybe, just maybe, I will keep a little bit of Bitcoin just because fuck the dollar. But that's the only reason that I will hold anything. Other than that, I'm selling everything. If we get another higher leg up, so be it. It doesn't matter. It's about risk to reward. As so far, if you look at bear markets, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to have my money right there, right? What you don't want is, and like I said at the beginning, I witnessed it a little bit over here, is that you make a lot of money in the way up and lose it all on the way back down. Because you thought like, yeah, but I can make more. This time can be different. Nah, take your profits, man. Take what you can take. Put it somewhere. Put it in a house. Put it on your bank. Put it, whatever you want to do with it, secure it, right? I know the dollar is like guaranteed to decrease in value, but it's also guaranteed to not at least fall with 70%, which Bitcoin is pretty much always doing, right? And let's not even speak about the altcoin market then, right? If you put 100K in the altcoin market here, and you will end up with less than 20K probably. And yeah, that's not what you want to do in this bear market. If anything, you can short the market, but also where, right? On an exchange. Bear markets are kind of notorious for letting exchanges die. So I'm also not even gonna do that. Maybe just with a little bit to keep the channel alive and to talk about something still. There's always something, right? But overall, I'm cashing out and I'm staying the fuck out of crypto by then. So my expectation is with all these sales, these early opportunities, it should be possible to eventually walk away with a 40-50x, right? There are projects going to do 500x's maybe again, but you won't sell everything at the top as well. So an average of 40-50x should be pretty doable. Put it into the altcoin market, maybe make another 2-3x and then slowly dollar cost out of that position. And that's just the way to do it. If you feel like, yeah, I don't believe in these pre-sales for some reason, I don't know, but you just don't want to do that or cannot do that, I don't know. DCA is the way, in my opinion. DCA in the altcoin market right now, it's a pretty good move if you can stomach 60% corrections. It wouldn't be the first time, right? It wouldn't be the first time. So I'm not saying that we will go down with 60%, but I am saying that could happen. It could happen. And if you are not the type of person that panic sells back by then you're good. Because eventually we will end up higher than where we are right now. That's my strategy. It was a lot, but I wanted to be quite transparent in this video to show you what I am actually doing and how I'm looking at it, what my strategy is. If you think this was helpful, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. I'll see you guys in the next one.